to do their numerology? Yeah? Cool. So as I was saying, I changed your name into numbers. Do you want me to use your real name? Yeah. Cool.
Just like things that we have.
She said.
So what you're saying?
Why did you want to be coached then for that?
No, what I mean is,
Come down with me sessions.
you like watching Come Down with me?
No, as in.
Oh. Look, I can see. So if you did that and you start doing it, you should use a great face on that belly. Also,
I say
go other places.
my.
Don't mind looking weird. It's just, am I okay with it? It's not weird. It's like normal that you look good. Probably find that everywhere. Anyways, I was saying about like, it's funny because I tried to meet him twice. I've definitely seen him before. As soon as I'm proper children. Like, yeah, 25 this. And I was like, he's from Chorley. Yeah, everyone in Chorley. He's that proper children. Because every time we work together, I used to get out.
As you can see, when I was going around, anyone can have a numerology chart. My dad has got 4, because every time that you change your name, then you get a new chart. And my dad, well, he's changed his name 3 times. This was my dad's first name. Roderick. Roderick Thompson. Roderick. That name always tickles me. Like, a lot of old school Caribbean names do, to be honest. They're just a bit odd, aren't they? Like Errol, Glenmore, Egbert. I mean, we know the heritage of them. We know they don't really belong. So this is the version of my dad that I wish that I knew. This is the one that's in all of my photo albums. Stuck in the corner of a room on a shabby sofa with an afro like, do you remember Pork Pie out of the Desmond Show? This kind of small round thing with like a thinning patch in the centre. In my favourite picture, he's got half a chicken bone sticking out of his mouth from his die-hard meal, chicken soup. This is the dad that used to practice Kung Fu 3 times a week and wear beige disco flares. He used to dance with windy hips to Motown, and he took lessons so that he could take my mum out dancing. When I asked my mum if he had a favourite song, she said it was Patti LaBelle and Michael McDonald, On My Own. And I thought, trust me, Dad, to pick the driest Motown song going. When he changed his name for the first time, it was to Abdullah. When he told me that, I was like, oh, he's serious now. Like, he's a serious Muslim now. I asked him what it meant, and he said, servant of God. He said, this name shows that God has helped me take control of my destiny. And I know for him that was a good thing, but, you know, like when he was called Roderick, he had a number in every single box, so he was quite a rounded person in numerological terms. Difficult word to say. But then when he changed to Abdullah, then gaps started to come. And then he changed his name again to Salah. And I remember when he told me that, and I thought, isn't that one of the 5 pillars of Islam? And he was well impressed that I knew that. And then I said, Dad, why are you changing your name again? And he said, it's time for me to move on, or rather move up. Some of the men in the Brotherhood were trying to teach him how to be a good Muslim while selling pornography and alcohol in their shops, so he'd had enough of them. I think the one good thing I could say about him changing to this name is that he gained a 2. 2 is like sensitivity and good communication skills. But he lost a 3. 3 is like tolerance. And then he lost 2 8s. 8's like control and realistic thinking. And he still didn't fill in those gaps. So he's still missing 5s, which is like liveliness and free thinking. 6, which is security and having a good sense of family, and 7, and that's worldly pursuits and pleasures. And now he's added Kemet to his name. When he told me that word, I was like, not heard of that before, you're going to have to explain that to me. And he said it's from ancient Egypt. It means black land. Like, it literally refers to the black fertile soil that surrounds the River Nile. But now it means more than that. It means like pure black intelligence. It means like, it represents all the knowledge that's been cultivated by the original Afro-Egyptian people. I like that he's added that one to his name. And he's got his 5s back. That's liveliness and free thinking. But when I look at this grid, it's a bit unbalanced. Like, I just see 6 1s. 6 1s. When he was called Roderick, he had 1 1. Now he's got 6, so that's a lot of ego. Like, if you've got too many 1s, then that means you're stubborn, you're a rebel, you're a loner. But I don't really believe it, though. I don't believe this stuff. Like, it's just interesting, isn't it? It's something that I can talk to my dad about, and yeah, it's just interesting. If you were to meet my dad, you'd probably say that I look like him.
Like him, like that.
But I can't always see
Like
it.
him, like that. Like him, like him,
They say I have his eyes,
like him,
the broadness of his nose. They say
like him, like him,
from the kink in my head
like him,
to the way I wear my clothes. They say I'm,
like him,
and they say, so I say I'm like him.
like him, like him, like him, like him,
And they say, so I say I'm like him.
like him, like him, like him, like him, like
So everybody knows,
like him, like
yeah, yeah. Like him, like him, like him.
like him, like him, like
This is how he communicates with me. Books and letters through a letterbox. When I was little, it used to feel like a game. The vanishing postman. I'd hear him rustling on the porch, so I'd rush downstairs, try and catch a glimpse of him, but most days I'd miss him. I'd end up with a hug's worth of GCSE physics, astrology, politics for dummies. You know, the mathematical definition of eccentricity, it's a measure of how much something deviates from being like a perfect circle. So circles have an eccentricity of 0. Maths was my favourite subject when I was in school. And I learned about eccentricity when I was in university, studying to be a maths teacher at secondary school. So yeah, apparently eccentricity is about perfect circles, ratios, planetary orbits, but you know, some words, they have a special meaning, don't they, that only makes sense to you, because to me, eccentricity, it's a feeling. It's that feeling at 6 a.m. when I open my door at 6 a.m. to find a homeless man pushing books about quantum physics through the letterbox, with a beard as grey and tattered as his socks. Hair like a platinum crown of electromagnets, constantly picking up signals. He's got freckles all over his hands and his face like butterfly eggs on a cabbage leaf. He's got a face that never seems to age. And he's got this concave body that never seems to put on weight. His sunken cheeks speak of countless days sipping chicken soup and breakfast tea. He's got wide eyes with camel-like lashes, and I see flashes of how handsome he used to be. From behind his dry, pale skin, it's translucent in the art of simple living. He smells like old paper, curled page endings and sympathetic dust. He smells like an unread story, like that novel that you glance at the top of your overloaded bookcase and that feels like enough. But when I catch him in the early hours of the morning, then I have to say something like, "Hi Dad, do you want a cup of tea?" And he'll say, "No, I don't have no time for some foolish cups of tea. Can you not see the seasons are changing? You need to take your mother back to the West Indies. The world is in decay. All things are going to change." And I'll say, "All right, Dad, but do you want a cup of tea?" And he'll say, "Can you not see the seasons are changing? Things in this country are about to get hell-bent. The world is in decay. And I know you still haven't read my notes on galactic alignment. You better be keeping your eyes on them houses of parliament, the super rich, the 1%, they're going to leave us in Babylon." And he'll carry on like this for about 10 minutes or so, and then float off into the distance. The mathematical definition of eccentricity is how much it deviates from being a perfect circle, and moons, they have like an eccentricity that's slightly greater than the Earth's orbit when it goes around the sun. If my dad were in orbit, he'd probably be closer to the moon's orbit. But I need him on Earth with me. To the untrained ear, he probably sounds deranged, but whenever I'm studying something, I go into my bookcase and I find that he's provided me with all the books that I already need. He's like my shabby oracle. He's got this way of saying something that just pops up in the news like 6 months down the line, because he's always one step ahead. He's always pushing me to think bigger, up into the sky, up into uncharted territory, until it feels like I'm suffocating. I woke up with a weird feeling this morning. My eyes kind of popped open. I felt like I was going to be sick. I wasn't. It's hard to describe it. It's this pulling feeling. This gravitational tug of war between moon and tide. Nauseating. I know that my dad's on the other side of it. I've been meaning to check on him. Been meaning to for a while now. But you know how it is, and it's almost Christmas. Where does the time go? About a year ago, he started sending me these weird notes saying, "Just a few lines to keep in touch." But we've never even touched. I mean, I've got one picture where he's holding me like this and I'm about a year old and we're both smiling, but that's evidence. It's not a memory, is it? When he sent the first one, I thought it was quite funny. Just a few lines to keep in touch. Then he sent another one, all saying the same thing. And he started to piss me off. So then I stopped opening them. and then they stopped coming. The last one he sent was in July, and now it's the 21st of December. Where does the time go? I wish I could ring him, but he doesn't have a phone. I've offered to buy him one, but he's not interested. I go downstairs. I ask my mum, when's the last time that you saw him? She always sees him when she goes to the market, but she wants to know why I'm asking, and I say, well, I've asked a question first, Mum, so you should just answer me. And now she wants to know why I'm in a mood, but I'm not in a mood. I just don't feel well. So now she's cracking jokes, asking if I'm pregnant. I hate it when she does that. I say, Mum, please, just when's the last time you saw my dad? She says, I can't remember. And that's what it's like when I bring up my dad these days, so there's no point asking if she'll give me a lift, it's fine. It doesn't take me that long to get there, there's just no guarantee that he'll be in. But I'm not actually doing anything today, so I can box this off in 2 hours, there's nothing to worry about. I can even go to the shop and get a few bits for him. He only lives in Longside. From here, I get the 85, stop off in Piccadilly, get the 192. And the 192 comes pretty often, but every time I get on that bus, there's some kind of drama. Like the last time, it must have been a Saturday afternoon because the football was on and there was the distinct smell of dried beer. And in the vague distance, you could hear the wailing of pot-bellied men. You can never really tell if they're winning or not. This woman, she was short and tanned, and she had this hairstyle. Her hair was scraped back into this tight, don't mess with me bun. She penguined away onto the bus. She looked like she was about 7 months pregnant from the side. But from the back, you wouldn't have a clue. Just as she was fishing a pass out of this little white bag, this guy jumped on, tried to pinch her out of her hand. This mixed race guy, who's track-suited, stubbled, looked like he'd been on the lash for about 3 weeks. But my girl, she was quick, so she flinched. Her elbow jabbed into the 2 beers that he was holding, and he had the cheek to say, watch it, darling. Well, as her hairstyle suggested, she was having none of it. Her little shoulders squared up and she growled, you what? And he must have been in shock because in 2 seconds she managed to jab him in the chest, reclaim a pass. The bus engine was enough to make him topple back onto the street. His beer splashed onto the closing doors, sounded like he called her a stupid pregnant bitch, and then she flicked her tongue between her 2 fingers at him. And that's what it's like when you go in Longside. I mean, last Christmas it was on the news. This guy jumped on from Stockport Road with a knife, held up the whole bus and robbed the driver. 192. But on a good day, it's just a 15-minute ride to Longside Library. You get off, you go down the fishy side of Longside Market. It's a third or a second turn past the church. I always get lost because the houses, they look the same, do you know what I mean? And the road signs are usually cracked or vandalised or missing, and I wouldn't mind if there weren't that many random dogs just jumping out from behind the fences. But it's fine. It's 9:45 now, so I can get ready rapid, go to shop, get a few bits for him, get the 10:25 bus, get into town just before 11, get into Longside for 11:20, and then catch him before midday prayer. It's simple. The morning air is crisp and bright. Sunny winter days, they're always a nice surprise, aren't they? I take a wide walk around this yappy dog that's tied outside of the co-op. The whoosh of artificial freshness greets my face. Stood next to the newspaper stand is this security guard, this short black guy with a sharp black tie and a moustache to match it. Everything's just a bit too straight. You know, from the seams ironed into his trousers to the middle parting shaved into his pat-down throw. This guy in a high-vis jacket cuts between us, followed by 2 raucous schoolgirls splitting a pack of strawberry laces, and from the giddiness in their voices, I know that they've bunked off school. I turn and grab a basket, but I know that the security guard is still looking at me. I've never bought anything for my dad before. I'm not really sure what to get him. Chicken soup. A tin of chicken soup. Is tinned halal chicken soup a thing? Can you believe my mum found out on my christening day? Check this. So, I wrapped him in her arms. Like, her modest pink lips are matching her handbag and her shoes, obviously. And I'm the baby in the white gown with the frilly socks to match it. My dad is wearing this kind of baggy, understated blazer with elbow patches. And, you know, to Caribbean Christian families, christenings are a big deal. They come second to weddings and funerals. The church was packed because there's always like food and dancing afterwards. And everyone was wearing cufflinks, wide brim, loud colour hats, flouncy dresses. They'd polished up their shoes. And my mum was sat at the front with my dad. The priest called them up for communion. And, you know, my mum, she springs up like a good Christian, turns and sees me dad, he's still sat down. So she leans to him and goes, "Are you coming to get the wine for communion?" And that's when he turned to him and went, "No, because I'm a Muslim." Just dropped it like that, you know. Like they weren't about to consecrate me in the ways of Christianity. Like he'd not just made me mum look like a twat in front of the priest and the whole routed family. He may as well have just spat in the wine. That would have been less embarrassing. But he wasn't even being malicious. The gravity of the situation wasn't apparent to my dad. He was too busy stargazing. Oh! Tin Talal chicken soup. It's a thing. Okay, so next item. Chicken soup and apples, no. Chicken soup and strawberry. Chicken soup and dates. I know that my dad likes dates because he uses them to break his fast when he's doing Ramadan. I'm going to be on the 10:15 bus at this rate. I clock the security guard looking for me. Our eyes lock and then I roll mine towards the fridge section. I remember walking with my dad to bulbous buildings that looked like ice cream scoops plopped on top of each other. I remember watching him wash his feet, his dry heels like the edges of torn paper. I remember the headscarf that my mum made for me. I remember Sadia and her henna-dipped fingernails and her frizzy black hair and her asking if I was half Muslim and I said, "No, I'm half Jamaican, I'm a Christian." I remember this teacher, she was ordering us to sit down, and I remember the questions that I asked that flew like paper planes out of the window, and holding my hand up until it was weightless or too heavy for my brain to imagine. I remember not putting my hand up again. This teacher shouting sounds that I didn't understand. I remember learning how to count a minute perfectly without even looking at the clock. I remember telling my mum, "I don't want to go back." It's been 2 minutes and I haven't picked another thing up yet. It's harder than I thought it would be. This guy breezes past me in a suit with an office makeshift breakfast and I'm jealous. I need something to pop out at me from one of these aisles. Gherkins, sardines, plantain chips. Would my dad like plantain chips? Can't just assume that, can I? Just because he's Jamaican, can't just be like, "Oh yeah, we like plantain chips." This is getting embarrassing now. This isn't how I shop. I usually have a list. I'm an in-out person, no messing around. Tea. Why didn't I think of that? Security guard. Looking up and down. And he has the cheek to say, "Good morning, sister." Sister. Is this how you treat your sister? By following her and profiling her? Man needs to get his hairline sorted. What is the point of having like some funky funky hairline, pepper grains around the front and then dashing some middle part in the centre? And what's all this now? What's all this tea? There's too much tea. Spicy chai, cocoa green, orange sunrise, naptime bucca seed. I remember drawing this family portrait with a fresh pack of Crayola crayons. Held it up to my mum as she was getting ready for work. She was like hopping into her tights and I said, "Look mum, this one's me. I'm the man of the house now, seeing as my dad's not here." I remember the crumpled look in her face. I remember sitting next to this tissue box, writing in red crayon, "I hate my mum, I want to live with my dad," again and again. And she found it. She said, Go if you want to then. But you won't get to go to ballet or quiet, or play football, or watch your favourite films. And I remember crying into my dad's books, wanting him to come and read them to me, but I knew that he wouldn't. Is 3 items enough now? Definitely not getting 10-15 books after all. Maybe I should ask that security guard what he would get. He's cheeky, you know, calling me sister. There's got to be a passive way of asserting yourself without coming across as the stereotype of the angry black woman. Or maybe I'm giving him a reason to look at me today. I must look mad. I'm drifting in and out, picking stuff up, putting it back down. Chicken soup, dates, tea. Is that it? Is that it now? Am I supposed to like go to my dad's house and be like, "Hi Dad, it's me. Look, can you just let me in? I thought I'd come round because you stopped sending stuff." I suppose the last time I spoke to him properly was after my granddad's funeral. It was on the table. This pamphlet with my granddad's eyes staring out at me, almost haunting me. It was there for 3 weeks. I kept it because I wanted to give it to my dad. I knew that he didn't get on with his dad, but to miss his funeral, I thought, I didn't think he could be so disrespectful. I kept the pamphlet so I could give it to my dad, redeem him, be the bigger person in the situation. And the day came when he was on my porch, hunched over another bag of books. He was wearing this blue bobbled hat and a brown tattered jacket, and it was raining because I couldn't look at him. He was stuttering about his stupid books. Didn't have the guts to mention what he'd done, so I just picked up the pamphlet and shoved it in his face. No words exchanged, just picked up the pamphlet and shoved it in his face. And that's when he exhaled, "Oh, he's dead." Like it was a question. But that wasn't how it was supposed to go, because Auntie called him, she wrote to him, so why did he open his mouth like a black hole and say, "Oh, he's dead"? And those words, they cut through the air like satellite shrapnel. Why was it me that ended up telling him? That wasn't how it was supposed to go, because I was being a good person. I kept the pamphlet. I went to the funeral. I was stood next to the coffin, me and Ibrahim, two sad little dickheads, but he wasn't lying. My dad's face whitened, his freckles glared like eclipsed moons, and our hands trembled in sync, and then he vanished from the doorstep. Stood in front of the planting chips again. I grabbed a pack, head to the queue. Chest again. 2 hours and this feeling will be gone. I just need to know if my dad's alright. I need to know why he was sending me stupid letters about keeping in touch. I've not heard from him in 5 months. What if something's happened? What does he even do all day? I know he don't have a job. He might have choked on a chicken bone, slipped in the bath, tripped, and then like a radio aerial impaled him right through his heart. The security guard's staring at me again. But it's not in that suspicious way. I think he wants to know if I'm okay. Maybe my thoughts are so loud, maybe he can hear them. I'm not okay. Don't know what I'm doing. Chicken soup, dates, tea, plantain chips. Simple. L is equal to 3. O is equal to 6. V is equal to 4. E is equal to 5. 3 plus 6 plus 4 plus 5 is 18, and 1 plus 8 is 9. The word love reduces to the number 9. In numerology, you can have like whole grids for words, or you can reduce them to single numbers, and love reduces to the number 9. If I would have guessed, I would have thought that love reduced to 1. You know, self-love, one love, monotheistic religions, it all makes you think of the number 1, but then I suppose you could say, well, love is 2 because it happens between 2 people or 2 things. But then I might say, well, why wouldn't love be 3? Because it comes out of the 2 people, it binds them together, it's bigger than them. My parents got divorced when I was 3. My dad's been divorced twice now. His second wife was brought to him all the way from Morocco. She's called Raja. Her beauty, like her voice, is quiet and soft around the edges. Her hips are a testament to the plates upon plates that she always has ready for any accidental guest. I swear, the most common phrase that she says in English is eat. Come on, eat. When they got divorced, I think my dad was upset, but I think it was more ego break than heartbreak. When I asked him if he actually really loved Raja, his nostrils flared like exhaust pipes. When I was little, I probably would have said that love was equal to 5. Because that's the amount of seconds I used to count, stood on my porch watching my dad walk away, before I'd whisper, I love you, Dad. Hoping that he'd hear me, or at least feel the energy that I was projecting towards him, like hoping it would keep him safe somehow. Catapult 10 years on, and I might have said that love was equal to 7. Niggers, 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 niggers. 7. The amount of times that I let my dad call his family this before I stopped him because it hurt. Because I don't really know them, but they're my family, and that's love, innit? I didn't want him to speak about them like this because I love them, or at least I love the idea of them. I mean, the more that my dad tells me about his mum, the less I actually want to meet her. I can't even do her numerology chart. I don't know her name. I think the only thing that my dad really loves is God, religion. That's what love is for him. It's a pilgrimage. It's a mission. It's a test. He always says that his first test was his mother. He says, that woman did everything in her power to rid me of my self-respect. Yeah, she brought us to England, but only so that she could dump us on our dad. And he didn't want to know. He had a new English woman, a new English life. And even when I got older, I got a job. I brought her money. She just threw it in my face. Just like that time when I was 6. She wanted me to read like the other children. So she just picked up a book, threw it in my head. Read, she said. She picked up a book and threw it in my head. Read, she said. Read. Read, she said. Read. She picked up a book and threw it in my head. Read, she said. Read. Read, she said. Read. Read. Picked up a book and threw it in my head. And that's why I say, look at everything that you've got. Look at your mother. If you just read these books, you'll go much further than I could. Love reduces to 9. 9 in numerology is achievement, it's completion, it's an initiation of moving from an early state to a higher state. I think love is just infinity. It's not really a number, is it? It's a concept of endlessness. Something we'll never really understand because we're bound by our finite bodies in a finite world. Love will always be alien to us. I'm slightly out of breath from my power walk to the bus stop. It's 10:21. The bus should be here soon. I look over at Alexandra Park and I see a group of children mums walking towards the pond. I decide to Google hugs. Sometimes I like to imagine what it would feel like if I. Sometimes I like to imagine what it would feel like if I've never really hugged my dad before. So I reckon I need a bit of a strategy. Like, if I hand in the bag of groceries first, it will block us. So I should keep hold of it and then hug him and bash him in the back of the legs. Maybe I should give it to him because then his defences will be down, he'll be looking through it and I'll just... But he might still have his kung fu reflexes. Sometimes I like to imagine what it would feel like if I feel his beard on my neck, fit myself into the cave of his chest, play dot to dot with freckles on his forehead, and I wanna know, what does he smell like? 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 I click on the top of my search list, this Wikipedia link. It says that hugs can boost your oxytocin and your serotonin levels and activate your solar plexus chakra. Yes, Google! This is like fully in my dad's language. Like, I should just drop all of this as a random fact and I won't be able to get him off me. What does he smell like? 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 Sometimes I like to imagine what it would be like if I The bus gets here, I step on and I smile at the driver, put my hand in my bag and my pass is in there. I continue to smile at the driver and I'm searching around and he doesn't smile back. He gives me this kind of, I've seen this routine before, love, look. He thinks I'm trying to ting, but I'm not like that. I've always got me pass. Someone up the bus is tutting. I want to say, yeah, chill your beans, but everyone's looking at me now. I've not even got any change. But I shouldn't even have to pay. I've got me pass. I step off. I'm flapping now, patting myself, muttering, searching, storming up and down the street, looking around, and then I find it next to a pile of leaves. Check if anyone's noticed my little episode. My brother would say I was coming like my Uncle Andrew. My Uncle Andrew tried to walk to London once. Mad, innit? Went on the motorway and everything. He's a Muslim like my dad, so I always picture him with this kind of embroidered hat, long garments, a big duffel coat, marching down the M6. Pure fiction. Like, I met him when I was dead little because he used to come round and pray in the back room and I'd watch him and then go into the kitchen and try and imitate him and then my mum would dip me up before I got struck down for blasphemy or something. No one's ever told me the end of that London story. I don't know if me uncle got there, why he was even going. Can't believe I just did that. I always have my pass in the same place in this bag. And now the bus is this orange blob going towards Loretto College. But it's fine. I was being generous before. I can still make it into town for 11. Just need to catch my dad before midday prayer. I can't do a numerology chart for my Uncle Andrew, like with his real name, his Muslim name. Because when I ask my dad about him, he just flies off into this kind of rage. I was actually consoled about going to my granddad's funeral because I thought, oh, I'll get to meet my Uncle Andrew. I'll get to ask him, why were you going to London? Did you get there? But when I got there, I said to my cousin, where's Uncle Andrew? And she tilted her head and said, Uncle Andrew's been sectioned. He's been sectioned for years now. I hate it when the bus is late. It's a genuine sense of powerlessness. Like my breath is more and more visible as it meets the cold air. I'm literally fuming. There's nothing I can do about it. And what's that number about up there? Text live to say what? To say that my bus is late? Yeah, I know it is. It's not here. Why do I need some text message telling me that the bus is on the way? It better be, because it's not here. I just don't need it to be this long. I said 2 hours max. I don't want to be like waiting around to see if my dad's going to come back after mosque. I don't know what he does. He might go to the library, he might go to the shops, he might go knitting class, I don't know. There's got to be someone that can check on him. Hiya. Yeah, I was trying to get through to social services. Right, well, this is the number that came up for the Longsight District Centre. Yeah. Yeah, so I've not made this kind of phone call before, so I don't really know what I'm doing. Okay, yeah, so basically, I wanted to see if there's someone that is on your list that you're already checking on, or like, can I request that you put him on your list to go and visit him? Yeah. No, that makes sense. It's my dad. He lives on his own. Well, he's in his 60s and he lives on his own. Yeah, yes, and I know that he struggles with his mental health. No, to the doctors? No. No, my dad wouldn't let me just take him to the doctors. We don't have that kind of relationship. Right. Because his behaviour is erratic and I don't have the capacity, so I just thought I could... Has he been violent? No. Is that what level it has to get to before I give you a call? I mean, what does she need me to say? That he shits on the floor, wipes it on the walls? Yes, I'm concerned. I thought I could just ring and someone with the right skills could go and check on him. No, sorry. I don't mean to get annoyed. I'm just trying to understand how this works. Right. An email on the website. Great. Thank you. Right, bye. The bus still isn't here. Now the clouds are threatening to break at any minute. That's what it's like when you're in Manchester, you never know. I always forget that the clouds, they're not as fragile as they appear. They weigh like millions of pounds, like 100 elephants. Can you imagine that? What if me dad had slipped down the stairs like Sandra Bullock in Crash? She had a phone. He doesn't even have that. And the postman, he only goes to the front door because that's where the basket is. It's not like he's going to wander up the stairs and stumble across it. I get on the bus. It should have been here at 10:35, not 10:42, but decide not to mention that to the driver. What matters is that it's here now, and I'm going to get into town for 11. Although part of me wishes it was the other bus with the other driver and the other passengers, just so they could see I wasn't like some mad rambling woman who just dropped me past on the street. 2 stops in, this Somali woman wobbles down the aisle towards me. She sits down close, her arm bracing mine. I allow my British awkwardness to melt away as she's waffling at this crazy speed. She's got her phone tucked into her headscarf. We're hurtling around corners, which is fine, and then we jolt to a stop. Traffic spewing out from all directions on Oxford Road. Nothing's moving. I decide to distract myself with one of my dad's old letters. I remember this one. It's from 12 years back. I remember I got in from school, put my school bag down, saw this letter. And I thought, oh, it must be a thank you note, because I'd sent him a happy birthday card like a week before. I always send him birthday cards, or when he had a phone, I'd ring him and say, happy birthday, Dad. And he'd go, Muslims don't celebrate birthdays, Keisha. But it just felt disrespectful to not acknowledge it. And I didn't really get why he said that, because at school, all of my Muslim friends, they'd bring cake, jalebi, onion bhaji, samosas, whatever, and we'd sing to them like we'd sing to anyone else when it was their birthday, so why was he being so strict? Anyway, this letter. I open up the envelope and I see capital letters and red ink. And somehow I know that this isn't a thank you note. It says, Inshallah. Recently, I was speaking to a Muslim teacher who works in a girls' school in South Manchester. She says that 60% of all girls in year 9 and above have a boyfriend, and half of these girls are fornicating. You, Keisha Lysander Thompson, must not take whoredom lightly. This was followed by 2 quotes. The first one was from the Quran, 24:2. The woman and the man who fornicate scourge each of them 100 whips, and in the matter of God's religion, let no tenderness for them cease if you believe in God and the last day, and let some of the believers witness their punishment. Then the other quote was from the Bible. It was 1 Corinthians 6:18, and it said, flee from sexual immorality. All sins that a person commits are outside of the body, but the sexually immoral person sins against his own body. Firstly, I thought, whoa, that's a bit intense for a Thursday afternoon, do you know what I mean? Secondly, I thought, I really do not like that my dad can quote from the Bible and the Quran at me. And who uses the word whoredom anyway? And thirdly, I thought, what kind of shit statistics are they? Some woman in her girls' school, wasn't my girls' school, and I don't know where she did her research, but half of 60% is 30%, so why is my dad assuming that I'm in the minority? When actually, I'm on the other side of the grid, no boyfriend, no sex. He doesn't even know me. Then, a month later, after that stupid whoredom letter, I get 2 books. They're definitely the weirdest books that my dad has ever sent to me. When I see them, I shove them in my wardrobe before my mum can see. I wait for a day when she's gone to work, get them out. Healing love through the Tayo. Cultivating female sexual energy. Sexual teachings of the Jade Dragon. Taoist methods for male sexual revitalization. Or in other words, why is my dad sending me some perverted books after practically calling me a whore in his last letter? It obviously, like, I read them for a bit. Like, one of them was really interesting. It talks about this stone egg that ancient Chinese women used to strengthen the pelvic floor muscles. It was a bit too graphic for my liking, you know, particularly since it had come from my dad. It seemed like he'd accepted that I was having sex now, even though I wasn't. But he wanted to make sure I was having, like, amazing Zen-powered spiritual sex. I think this was, like, his way of having the talk with me. Less birds and bees and more dragons and eggs. I look up from the letter, and we're only at the dance house. This is ridiculous. It's like the universe doesn't want me to see my dad today. No, I'm just an idiot. It's almost Christmas. Town is going to be a nightmare. I look out and I see the garish dance of fairy lights and tinsel spilling out of all the shop windows. Just up and fled. Do I think my dad is filled with dread? Shake my why do I think my dad is dead? Dead, dead, dead. Bankroll, ruptured gold, choked in bed. Do I think my dad is filled with dread? Shake my head, how the thought spreads. Why do I think my dad is dead? Did dead? Did dead? Did dead? Dad, haunted by this little voice, daunted, 'cause I have no choice. Haunted by this little voice, daunted, 'cause I have no choice. Dad. It might be quicker to walk, and I've spotted this spider that's crawling down near the windowsill, near my arm, and don't need to cause a scene, do I? I've not got time for that. I jabbed the woman next to me. I've not got consent over my body when spiders come near me. She looks vexed, so I just stumble down the aisle and jump off. It's Monday, the 21st of December, 2015. So it's 4 days until Christmas, or 5 months since I've heard from my dad. I'm on Portland Street. My chest is tugging again. But that's how gravity works, doesn't it? It gets a bit stronger. This street is doing my head in. There's too many people. Where are they all going? My ears are popping. And it's one of those clear days where the sky is so honest that you can see the sun and the moon all at once. Why would he say, inshallah, just a few lines to keep in touch when we've never even touched? I used to stare at his hands as he handed me a bag of books. Our hands would never touch. Never showed me any affection. Never asked me how I was feeling. Solely concerned with his books and say, have you read the books? Have you read the books? I should have said, have you read the books? How are you giving me psychology books about Freudian tendencies and human connection and you don't even know how to interact with your own child? Yeah, I know his mum was horrible to him, but is he not going to give me a hug? Is he going to leave this world without giving his daughter a hug? Someone bumps into me, bringing Christmas shopping. Does it even say sorry? Everyone's just out spending the money they don't have, ignoring the streams of homeless people in tents. I'm in Piccadilly Gardens now. There's a boy beatboxing to Wham. There's an elf smoking a fag. My neck is hot, my nose is freezing. I zip down my jacket, the bag slips. The dates, the tea, they get kicked. The plantain chips, they get squashed. I grab the soup. Splash. On my nose, on my neck, on my forehead. Rain, of course. Why not? It's fine. I don't need those material things. Like, I told myself to go to the shop because I told myself I had time, but why would I say that? Who has time? What if, like, some shelf has landed on me dad, he's suffocating in his flat? Someone must check on him. He must have a friend, one friend that checks on him. But then that friend wouldn't know me. Like, that friend wouldn't know how to contact me if something happened. And then I think, well, would I get upset? Like, sometimes I think I'm made of stone, because when my granddad died, I didn't cry. I'm at the 192 stop now. There's a bus here, and there's this woman in front of me fumbling with her purse, and I'm thinking, come on. She pulls a stream of coins in front of the driver, but she smells familiar, like a home-cooked meal. My mum took me round to see Raja and Ibrahim today. Raja said that my dad was throwing coins through the letterbox. Coins instead of books. She told Ibrahim to go upstairs. Ibrahim, who is all lashes and lanky limbs. Ibrahim, who is 7. And the last time I saw him, he was 5. I'm a bad sister. I imagine that he is what my dad was like when he was little. Wide, inquisitive eyes and a quivering voice. Just like terrified of the potential genius that might just fall out of him. I want to take him for a pizza. I want to take him to the cinema. I want to take him to the park. I want to be a good sister, but every time I offer, Raja says no. She says my dad was throwing coins through the letterbox, and immediately I start to think of like illogical or literal reasons for why he might have done that. Some kind of commentary on money, perhaps. I don't think he knew that from inside, they looked like bullets flying through the house. He was trying to be poetic. She just doesn't understand him. As I reason my way out of concern, she continues to speak. Broken English like the collection of cutlery on the table. Some pattern, some bent. And I imagine, well, this is what I would sound like if she insisted we spoke in French. He hit me, she says. Only this time I hear her. She's wobbling her head. She's nodding and shaking herself from the memory and confirming it. All at once. He pushed me and he hit me. More than once, she says. I turn and look at my mum and she pulls her handbag to her stomach, plats her legs. I grit my teeth in shame. As Raja looks to me as though I'm supposed to give her some kind of explanation as to why my dad's a raging bastard. But I didn't give birth to him. What the fuck am I supposed to say? And why is it that the only thing I want to say is, did you fight back? Did you fight back like my mum did when he tried to hit her? My mum grabbed an ashtray, lobbed it at him, but he'd already run out onto the street. I could listen to that story, because it's a story of stupidity. A story of a man who tried to cross my mum and felt her wrath. And the story used to end with, he never did it again. That ending isn't true now, is it? And a month later, my dad will come to visit and I'll struggle to look at him. Because he's a coward. I've never really judged him for being a limp excuse of a dad, but what's his excuse for being a pathetic example of a man? And even though I'm seething, I still won't pluck up the courage to ask him why he thinks it's alright to hit women. Because part of me thinks he might turn around and hit me. Who's the coward now? The bus journey gets swallowed up in my thoughts. I wonder if there's a clear difference between love and pity. I wonder why I'm still here. So what? I've not heard from me dad. Why do I even care? Some of my friends, they don't speak to their dads. Some of them don't even know them. Sometimes it feels like that would be an easier option. We're near the Apollo and it's 11:20. I can still make it. Every now and again, an over-decorated house catches my eye. And I wonder if, the more ostentatious the house, maybe the more secrets that the family inside is trying to mask over. Because that's what happens at this time of year. Everything gets heightened, extreme joy or extreme sadness. Hello. Yeah, hiya. Could I get put through to accident and emergency, please? Actually, if someone had a heart attack or like a bookshelf fell on them, where would they go? No, sorry. Do you know what? I'm just looking for my dad. I just thought he might be there. Yeah. What name? Okay. Mr. Bassett. Yeah. No. He's black. He looks Arab, but he's Jamaican. He's quite fair-skinned, and he's got a British accent. He's 61. Yeah. No. I know. That makes sense. Do you know what? I don't want to waste your time. It's just my dad's missing for like 5 months. No. Sorry. That's how long I've not seen him for. But do you know what it is? It's intuition. It's like this feeling. I've actually got it in my chest. Like I can feel it under my bra. No, I'm not sick. No, it's me dad. I was just checking if he was. Yeah. No. That makes sense. I'm sorry. Yeah, the police. Yeah, I haven't. No. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. Bye. Galileo once asked a question. If you drop a cannonball and a feather at the same time, which will hit the ground first? On Earth we have gravity. Gravity is constant. It has an acceleration of 9.8 meters per second, which it basically means that if you've got a big falling object, it results in a big gravitational force. If you've got a small falling object, it results in a small gravitational force, so they hit the ground at the same time. Gravity is always trying to teach us about inevitability. No matter what size you make yourself out to be, gravity will just create a force that will match you, bring you down to the ground at the same rate as anyone else. This experiment, it's easy to understand on the moon because on the moon, there's no air. On Earth, we have air resistance. So it's less about what size you make yourself out to be and more about how much you're willing to converse with the wind, I guess. And if you can figure that out, then you defy gravity a little bit longer than anyone else. But even then, at some point you will come crashing down. I get off the 190. It's the fishy side alongside Market, so I hold my breath. There's a wide set alley. There's an overflowing skip. Decaying food, dust-covered vans. The smell of fish is so thick that you can feel it on your tongue. I cut through the market, go past the fruit store, go past the fake designer t-shirts, go past the shoe store, and then 2 veiled women cut out in front of me. I almost trip over them. And that's why I stopped coming here. It's the way some of the people just kind of push you out of the way or stand in front of you as though you don't belong here. I make a sharp turn and get out of the material stall. I used to hate coming here with my mum, watching her stood at the front of the queue, trying to get it served, and then people behind her would be speaking in another language, and she's just trying to get some eye contact. I'm at the pedestrian stop. I look down at this little girl, she's on a green scooter, she smiles up at me, presses the button for both of us, and instead of smiling back, I make this kind of asymmetric wince. My chest, am I having a heart attack? Everything just feels tight. I need to pick up the pace. I make a second turn at the church and I get it right. 2 children whiz past me in oversized shoes. What if my dad has tripped over and been put in a home? Because that's what they do to old people, isn't it? No. I get to the gate. There's a buzzer crackling. What if my dad's been electrocuted? He might have been reading in the bath, tripped his lamp into the water as he was trying to get out. No. I get to the door. It wobbles. Grab the handle. It creaks. It opens. There's a dark passageway. His lower front door is closed, and the broken meter is ticking loudly. I look back out to the daylight. His postal basket. There's an overflow of junk mail and letters. Looks like it hasn't been touched in months. I look back to the dungeon. The ceiling with no light bulb. Wires hanging down like dragon's tongues. I step inside. The shadow. Something swinging over my head. I look up. It's spider webs. So I get out. Look up to the windows. They're covered in newspaper. Go around the other side. There's boxes and books pushed against the glass. I can't see. I turn back around and 3 women in red. They're mouthing something, staring at me. I don't understand, so I just go back to the front door, and the spider web. So I shut dive. I'm knocking now, knocking and ticking. The broken meter is ticking, and my heartbeat is ticking, and the back of my neck is itching. I feel like there might be a spider web, so I just grab the door handle, push, and there's a cloud of dust, and this book's dust grey, everything's grey, it's spinning like mini galaxies, and I feel like I might faint. I feel like something might just jump out at me. I feel like I can see rotting skin. I don't know, and the broken meter is ticking, and I feel like I can see an open eye, unblinking. No, the broken meter is ticking, and I look up the stairs, and I look at the door, it's ajar, so I work my eyes down the door frame, down and down, and then I see his hand with fingers curled in like page endings, so I start to shake, and then someone's shaking my arm. Excuse me, love, can I see your ticket? It's a routine ticket inspection. I show the woman me pass and she walks off, and everyone's avoiding eye contact with me. I look outside and the light is blurring through the window panes, long sight. It's a childhood finger painting. And I'm that woman. The argumentative black woman. The one that falls asleep on the bus. The one with the stupid bag full of soup and letters and guilt. I get off the bus. It's 11:42, I need to hurry, but not worry, because he's fine. The cold rain is falling diagonally. It feels like a personal attack. Cut through the market and my brain is looping, saying it's Monday the 21st of December, it's Monday the 21st of December, like a frigging woodpecker. Why is my brain making a note of the date as though something's happened? Nothing's happened. I get to his flat. I make it. Get to the front door and the sun is beaming down on the wood and the raindrops are evaporating. His buzzer's crackling. I grab the door handle and push. There's a dark lower passageway and his front door's closed and broken meter is ticking. What if he's done something to himself? No. We wouldn't do that because suicide in Islam, no, it's a sin. Forget the radical pricks. I know that suicide in Islam is a sin. The woman across the street shouts, "Are you looking for the man upstairs?" And I say, "Yeah. Have you seen him today by any chance?" She pouts and says, "No, I've not seen him in a while." She asks if I'm his daughter, and I light up a beam, and she says, "God, you look like him." And For a nanosecond, that makes me feel better. And then she says, why don't you just ring him, love? Hops into a red Suzuki and drives off. Hello? Hiya, yeah, I need to get through to the police. I want to report someone is missing. It's my dad. I've not seen him in 5 months, but I've just spoken to his neighbour and she said that she's not seen him in a while. No, she didn't. She's gone. She's gone now. Look, I'm just here. I'm at the flat. It's dark. Like his windows are covered in newspaper. The postal basket it's full and his broken meter. There's a buzzer. I've tried the first 2 doors, but I just don't want to like find him on my own. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. No. Yeah, you're right. His name. Okay, hang on. He's got a few. No, he's not got a criminal record. Well, I think he had like a restraining order at some point, but I don't see how that matters actually. Who am I speaking to? No, yeah, okay, Amanda, thanks. So I know my dad's name. I just don't know which one you would have, right? So I think he legally changed it to Abdullah, but his first name, no, his original name, no, he wouldn't use that. Because it's a white man's name. So you just, look, if you were to ask my dad about that name, he would say Roderick. Roderick is a Germanic name. It's a Germanic name that means rich in glory. Rich in the white man's glory. Yes, me, a black man from the Caribbean, rich in the white man's glory. What kind of Babylon name is that to give to your child? 1,000 years ago, Shaitan was let loose on this world. Bunch of white devils travelled to Africa, ripped the families apart, ripped the language apart, everything got ripped apart, and the black man, the black father, got turned into something that was totally whatless. And we, the Caribbean people, we've inherited that. You know when you read How to Make a Slave, it says when you talk about a nigger, you're basically converting someone from gold to base metal. So everyone in the Caribbean is base metal. Everyone in the Caribbean is insecure. If I have a white man's name, then I'll be insecure. If I have a white man's name, then I'll be insecure. So my dad, he wouldn't use that name. Sorry, I didn't mean to shout. I feel like you're not listening to me. Look, you don't even need his name. You just need his address because I'm here. So someone just needs to come here now. So someone wouldn't just come and meet me. Right. A call back. Okay, yeah, great. Thank you. Bye. I go back to the front door. The spider webs. I dive. Knocking at the front door, knocking and ticking. The broken meter is ticking. Grab the door handle. There's a cloud of dust. Books, grey. Everything's spinning. Mini grey, like mini galaxies. And the carpet, it's got holes in it like moon craters. And the broken meter is tick, 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 ticking. And I remember when my mum, she went to the shop and she said, I'll be back in a tick. And I went and got some paper. And I tick, 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 tick. And I said, look, Mum, you took 785 ticks. And she looked at me like I was a little lunatic. She said, you mustn't take things so literally. And I suppose she had a point, because this one time she went to the shop, she left my dad with me, she said, watch her. She left him the bottle of milk, the nappies, the dummy, everything that he needed, and she went to the shop. And then when she came back, she found him, the bottle of milk, the nappies, the dummy, and me. Only me now, I was like kind of sweating and shrieking and covered in purpley red skin, because she should have been a bit more specific. She asked him to watch me, and he did. walls are shaking. The front door flies open. Books come crashing down. A booming voice says 10. The atmosphere is hot. Everything's hot. Loud, dusty, vibrating. I don't understand. I want it to stop. 9. I'm on the floor, head propped up. Try and touch my face. Blocked. Something on my head. 10. 8. Dad? He's on a chair. I'm crawling, air whirring, walls shaking, stomach floating. Make it 7, he straps me in. I look at him. He looks so young. The air is thin. 6. He's got the Quran in his hands. Points to chapter 96. His hands are shrinking. 5. Read in the name of your Lord. He who created man from a clot, taught man what he did not know. 4. He repeats these lines again and again. Again, he wants me to join him. He says, read, read, he says. His voice, it swells and we're lifting up. And nothing's making sense. Read, he says, read. He wants me to join him. 3. I'm clinging on. His voice is getting higher. And my eyes are glued shut. 2. Did he just call me mother? My eyes dart back open. He looks so young. 1. My helmet is hot and tight. And everything starts to melt. Lift off. Everything feels like it's cooling down. I look up to see a face in a helmet. It looks like my dad, but like a 6-year-old version. A smiling 6-year-old. I look around and the walls are all rounded like a womb. He hands me a crayon drawing and it's a huge polka dot rocket ship with a blue fireball bursting out of it. It's headed for the moon. And inside the rocket ship, there are 3 figures. Keisha, Ibrahim, Kemet. Where's Ibrahim, he says. Why didn't you bring him with you? But how do you explain a restraining order to a 6-year-old whilst you're floating in space? I point to this muscular figure labelled Kemet that he's drawn and I say, is that you? Yeah. His face lights up. Yeah, that's me. I'm Kemet and I'm a superhero. I can speak all the languages in the world and I'm an inventor. I invented this reading gun. You point it at any book, zaps up all the words, you point it at your head and you shoot the words into your brain. He asks if I've got a gold crayon. He needs it to finish off his costume. It's black and gold, but it's made out of the strongest metal in the universe, something you can't even find on Earth. It's called chemetium. And it has the power to move like a liquid, like mercury, but only he has the power to make it do that. He asked me if I like his costume and his superpowers, and I fumble over some words about how intelligent and creative he is, but he's already floated off. And then he's back. Hands me a large, warm mug of brown liquid. Our suits have large umbilical cables connecting us to the switchboard. We sit quietly, sipping our chicken soup between red and white stripy straws. I say, Dad, why did you stop writing to me? He spins in a zero gravity cartwheel as he explains that he was just too busy building this ship. He tells me about the whole process, from start to finish. How he was just eating and building, stopped sleeping. He knew that I'd always come and find him. I say, Dad, why are we going to the moon of all places? He rushes off to the window, looks down at Earth. I follow him. I can see Europe. I can see Africa. I can see the Atlantic Ocean. Then he starts pointing frantically at all these countries we need to get away from. Too much bombing, too much lying, too much hate. We need to go somewhere smaller, quieter, slower. We need somewhere where his cometium suit will work because it's not from Earth, it's from the moon. He brings his mouth close to my ear and says, we need to get to the moon to get closer to the magic. I close my eyes. And then they dart back open because I get this sudden urge for chips. Chips and gravy. I want the stripy blanket from my bed. I want my yellow notebook. I want my music. I want my mum, actually. Dad, I say, are we dead? He looks up and shrugs. Wanders off towards his recycled stash of paper. Starts drawing a new picture. But I don't belong here. I don't need to be on this ship. I'm only 25. He can tell that I'm wanting to leave now, so he's ignoring me. Puts his fingers in his ears and starts humming. Humming louder than my brain as it starts to tick, 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 faster than my heartbeat. So I grab a piece of paper, I write him a letter. Inshallah, Dad. Thank you for all these books. I read the numerology ones more than you think. So I know that Kemet, it's equal to 18. Because K is equal to 2, E is equal to 5, M is equal to 4, E is equal to 5, T is equal to 2. And then 1 plus 8 is 9. But did you know that love is equal to 9 as well? Because L is equal to 3, O is equal to 6, V is equal to 4, E is equal to 5. 3 plus 6 plus 4 plus 5 is 18, and 1 plus 8 is 9. And 9's achievement. It's completion. So basically, Dad, I really like your new name. Lots of 9s from Keisha. It's Monday the 21st of December. It's been 5 months since I've heard from my dad. When I woke up this morning, I knew I needed to check on him. So I'm at his front door. I realise that I'm holding my breath because I imagine something rotten or sour, but when I let go, it just smells like an old coat that's been soaked in the rain. I can feel the gravity of the situation. I know without even trying that the door is unlocked, but I know that I'm not ready to open it yet. So instead, I just kneel down, push my hand through the letterbox and start to speak. Hello, Dad. I brought you a can of soup. Dad, can you tell me about the 3 laws of Newton? Can you tell me about the Dogons? Can you tell me about that time that you stood up to Grandma? Can you tell me about your eccentricity? Can you teach me how to build a spacesuit? Can you tell me about cometium? Dad? Can I say that I love you, and can you say it's okay, and can you say it back? Dad, are you gonna make me do this all over again? Dad? If I was on the moon and there was no air resistance, and I dropped this can of soup and my sanity at the same time, which would hit the ground first? I hear the faint sound of a page turning, push my eyes up to see his pale feet levitating above the patchy beige couch, like a Sufi Jedi king.
Like him, look like him, like him, like him, like him, like him, like him, look like him, like him, like him, like him, like